we have a motion to open the meeting?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Good evening. This is a meeting of the Finance Committee. It's Wednesday, April 25th, 2024, and this meeting is being video and audio recorded. First item on the agenda, Pledge of Allegiance. If we can stand, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I think, Mr. Kelly, we can start out with you just kind of giving us the latest.
All right, the budgets that are before you tonight have been voted and approved by the Board of Selectmen. The Section 2 of the determining of the voting will be on Tuesday. We look to finish all budgets but 2. And we're waiting to see the education budgets after that.
So when you say the 2 budgets, you're talking about Old Colony and School? Okay.
And I don't think Oak Colony will change much.
Okay.
We are discussing with them maybe because we've discovered that there's a one-time expense in their budget, so it might not be appropriate to pay that out of taxation.
So how else could it be paid out of?
The selectmen have to determine that.
And how much was it?
It's approximately 120 to 140,000.
And we're roughly 1/3?
Hmm?
We're roughly 1/3 of this, we'd get at, that's
No,
That's our portion.
That's
our
our
portion.
That's our portion, okay. Okay,
I'll have exact figures when I talk to Sarah.
okay. Any other questions before I guess we start talking about specific budgets? Okay. Starting at the top, Finance Committee.
That is even. It's no increase. 2,900. Salaries 2,500. Expenses 400.
Okay.
Motion to accept as read.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, Reserve Fund.
Reserve fund is even 150,000.
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Just so the
Oh.
committee knows, as far as reserve fund for this year, you're going to be getting some more requests. Those requests will deplete it, the present reserve fund down to 69,000 remaining,
They're coming next week, you think?
probably.
Sorry. I think last year we were in worse shape than 69,000 at the end, so that's good.
Town Moderator.
Town moderator's even. 725 for salaries, 150 for expenses, total 850.
We have 875 here.
Oh, sorry, 875.
Okay. Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Legal Services.
Legal services are flat at 107,000.
Where do we stand now for 2024?
I'd have to, we're in a slight deficit, but with the May one, we should be able to transfer from another account, but I'll let the board, committee know.
Okay. So is 107 is a realistic or realistic estimate for legal services? Because 22 and 23 were at 170s.
Yeah, well, there's one entity that is driving it.
Yeah,
And
but as far as we can tell, the expectation is that those legal fees would be lower than.
I hope so,
Okay.
soon.
Motion to accept?
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Soil board.
Soil board, salary 700 and expenses 20,800 for a total of 21,500.
Motion to accept?
And it's flat.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sealer weights and measures.
1,169 salaries. And it's flat.
Flat. Have a motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Miscellaneous.
Miscellaneous, we have in salaries compensated balance of 5,000. The reason we have that there is, as you know, we have a stabilization fund to cover it, but we'd have to get to a town meeting to access it if someone left mid-year, and this carries us over. We have not expended any funds from it this year, but it's a safety net.
Mm-hmm.
And 8,500 is the various expenses. For a total of 13,500, it's flat.
I have a question, Mr. Kelly. I think we talked about it briefly last time. The line item for celebrations at 3,500. Can we get a little bit of clarity about what that is? As a taxpayer, you see $3,500 for celebrations when we're dealing with such a crunch. I think it might help alleviate some people's pains if they're hearing that.
Well, part of it is the apple peach. Part of it is the various issues with veterans. We've used some of it in celebrations when we recognize a championship team.
Right. So I just want to make sure that it's out there for everybody if they come across and see this, that
It's not
this
a
isn't
party.
for birthday parties, this
No.
isn't for Christmas party, it's for town type celebrations like
Correct.
Apple Peach. So thank you.
Well, previous
Okay.
years, we've only been spending under $1,000. Can we just maybe cut it back
Well, we
2,500?
didn't have Apple Peach until this year.
Yeah, there was talk about funding Apple Peach.
We're investigating it, but until we do,
Okay.
if we don't spend it, it goes to free cash. And as you know, these type of things, I spend nickels like they're sewer covers.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Cable.
Cable, we've done a change. The salaries are 100,000. We put it up a little bit just because we're looking at maybe moving around some production issues. Expenses are at 90, and then we put a reserve fund in similar to the other enterprise accounts of 50,000. The equipment's getting very old, and so we want to make sure if something catastrophic happens, we have a reserve we can get to. and it does not come from taxation.
I make a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's the type of nice planning we need so that we don't have those budget buster surprise things at the end of the year.
Okay. Regional government expenses.
This is our Serpent dues, Buzzards Bay, and Housing Partners. Housing Partners, Buzzards Bay is flat, Serpent went up slightly. Serpent has been fabulous to us since we don't have a planner. We've been using them on a number of items to help us out. So the budget is 3,748, gone up less than 1.5%.
Do I have a
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Appeals board.
Appeals board, salaries 3,000, expenses 3,150 for 6,150. It's flat.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Forestry.
Forestry, salaries 1,000, that's flat. The police details we increased because we also increased the tree removal from 16,000 to 20,500. Details from 2,000 to 3,000. We have problematic trees in a number of places. And what the tree warden puts areas that he wants work done in, brings in the removal people for a day. You get a day rate and you can get maybe 2-3 trees done. And we've got, as you know, a number of dangerous trees that are actually on town property. And it's getting worse. But we were also dealing with Eversource and Verizon as far as making sure the wires are clear.
When Eversource comes and cuts the trees, are they responsible for the stumps also, or just the trees and that's it?
They're actually just responsible for the branches of
When
the
they
wires.
cut a tree down,
They don't cut the whole tree down.
yeah, they do.
Cut a big hollow.
So if they determine a tree is dangerous
Oh,
to wires,
Yeah, well, they do not do the stump. And if the
I was
stump,
curious about that.
and if the stump's on private property, they won't touch it. They'll probably not even do the tree if they can avoid it.
Mr. Kelly, how are we looking this year for the tree removal against the 2024 budget? Are
Well,
we gonna run into deficit, do you think, or will,
no.
okay, so we're just really planning for next
We
year?
do as much as, tree warden makes sure does as much as he's got the money for, and that's it.
Perfect. Thank you. I'll make a motion to accept.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Snow and ice, my favorite.
We didn't even spend.
How do we do this year?
I believe, we haven't bought supplies yet to replace, but we're at about 2/3.
So you think we have enough to replenish the supplies with it?
Yeah.
Excellent.
And as you know, you don't diminish the number because then you can't deficit spend.
Right.
Mhm.
So 110 flat.
And
But
you think-
110 makes sense. 2023, That's where we were, 104,000. 24, it gives us the money to replenish, which is normally what we do anyways. So,
But we also had two late years.
right. But that's what I'm saying, you never drop it.
Yeah, you don't go down.
You don't go down because
I'm not saying go
110
down.
appears to be the right number on light years.
I'm just,
You don't have to go too far back, because look, 2022 was 196,000.
Mhm.
We were in the hole 80-something thousand dollars that
Right.
year, so, yeah. I would never think that you'd want to spend, reduce it.
I wasn't thinking reduce, I was thinking we're gonna have enough for next year. With the
Well, then-
increase and everything.
Then we might have to, that's one of the few accounts we can deficit spend though.
Yeah,
You can
it's
go
it.
negative.
As long as you're not playing with the amount and reducing it, then you can go deficit spend.
Which is what we'd have to do if we had another bad year like we did in '22.
Knock on wood.
We do.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Do I have a second?
Second. Oops.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Guys are making it easy for my record keeping. CMAS.
Salaries are 43,364, slightly up. Expenses, 1,279,248. And you see the outlier in the increase is the trash recycling hauling line item.
Mhm.
And that's gone from 624,836 to 681,581. And a good part of that's being driven by the fact that we've been hit by a 4.5% fuel surcharge, which equates to about 3,000 a month.
When's the contract end?
I believe we have
Soon.
1 or 2 years. But this is everywhere, and
Yeah. Yeah.
you're also seeing at least 3 communities in the area that are running out of space to actually do recycling on town-owned property.
I make a motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Cemetery.
Cemetery salaries temporary, 5,464. Expenses, 1,325, for a total of 6,789. It's flat. Actually, yesterday, the representative of the committee came in and they said that they're not sure that amount will be adequate for this year with the expenses for having the upkeep, and they didn't want to go into the perpetual care trust fund. I told them I'd discuss it with the selectmen, and if need be, we could address something in the fall.
Did they give you an idea of what type of increase they'd look for in order to maintain service?
9 to 10,
More?
no,
Oh, total.
total.
So you're talking $2,500, $3,000.
But at this point, it's
Yeah,
already been
we're looking at
heard by
pennies.
the selectmen, and
Yeah.
they were a day late for their dollar short.
But even if it's not budgeted for or needed, we're not talking about a buster.
No.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Veteran Services.
Veteran Services is flat, 20,772 for the salaries, 196,445 for $217,217. Yeah, well, someone should play that number. But as you know, this can fluctuate depending on how much veterans' benefits we expend, but it's also something that's reimbursable.
Can you just briefly detail for the audience at home what is included in veteran benefits?
No, I can't.
No? No idea?
Well, I know some of them, but it's everything from widow's benefits
Yeah.
to,
There's a list. There's a
Yeah.
long list of stuff to get.
and it's a moving target always. I've been told by veterans agent that getting the younger generations to actually come in and avail themselves of the services sometimes is difficult. They don't want to come in.
Because they're not aware, or they just don't?
Generational
Whatever.
thing, I guess. I don't know.
They,
Yeah,
But,
I've never gone in and used it.
Okay,
yeah, but there is outreach going on.
okay. Well, Pete, now you know you can use it.
I make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Recreation.
Recreation, salaries, the summer youth salaries, 10,000, it's flat. The expenses went from 12,850 to 15,225. The main driver of that is the energy costs.
Yeah, that's the entire driver.
Yeah.
And so the committee knows the recreation function is bolstered by the YES program.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to accept.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Park.
Park, the salary line 29,000 is flat, and the expenses 20,967 is also flat for a total of 49,967.
Motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Historical Commission.
The Historical Commission, the expenses went from 7,800 to 9,160, and of course, the driver is
Energy.
energy.
Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I think that covers all of the budgets that were approved by the Board of Selectmen. Is that right, Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Okay. Do we want to move on to the articles that can be, the town warrant, and the articles that can be approved or voted on?
Also, if someone wants to remind the chair while he's on the beach, he could write the letter for the warrant.
I'll be sure to text him that reminder as soon as you finish up.
I'm sure he's composing it right now.
We should just send him a picture of the sandwiches and, yeah.
I will not.
We had that to finance committee's expense.
Article 1 is something that is every year. It's the article that the town accepts the reports of the various boards, departments, committees, commissions, and officers. And the date, of course, will change in the article that you see in front of you. We haven't updated that yet, but that's standard. Article 2 and 3, I don't have any amounts yet. Those might not even be in the warrant.
Okay.
So I'd ask that Article 1 be approved as to the form.
Make a motion?
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Article 4 shows the same numbers other than the first number, which it's for a sum of $240,000 for the cable-related fund. This is the article that authorizes the budget line.
Make a motion to accept the 240?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The
So
rest,
sorry, Mr. Kelly, the body of Article 4 is gonna say 240 instead of the 200, right?
just the top line, yes.
Yeah,
The
yeah, okay.
body does.
Yes, no, just wanted to make sure that that's,
Mhm.
we're gonna be consistent.
Article 5 through 10 is the consent articles. They are everything from permitting the board to apply for grants, to allow the DPW to expend Chapter 90 money, to allow the treasurer to borrow in anticipation of revenue according to the Mass General laws, to authorize the members of the cemetery board to perform work in the cemeteries, to authorize members of the recreation commission to perform work in the parks, and to allow the board of library trustees to sell for the sum of $1 discarded books.
I'll make a
Usual.
motion that we accept Articles 5 through 10 as written.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Article 11, there is one amount that I still am considering changing, and that's the Conservation Commission revolving fund to allow for more than $2,500 to be expended. But I will get back to you. I do not want to have a vote on this article now, but I do want to point out the increase at the Council on Aging of $45,000 from 30, and that is a revolving fund from funds they take in as a result of trips, and there are a couple more trips or events planned, and so that when you looked at the various budgets, it was getting awful close to the 30,000. That's why we're looking to increase it to 45.
Mr. Kelly, do you have any idea what the Conservation Commission might be looking at that prompts us? I mean, do they have something that needs to be addressed in 25 that we're looking in advance at?
Well, it's to use the, we're looking, since we don't have an agent, we might need some expertise.
Okay.
Consultation.
And so I just want to be safe.
So we just table it for now.
I was
Say
just
we
curious.
table 11.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can't because the numbers are gonna change, so we're not gonna vote on 11.
Yeah. I just didn't know if we had something big that was going on somewhere.
Okay, I'm not going to announce it publicly, but you see the free cash computations there.
What free cash?
And, but I will say that the Article 12 is to contribute $81,301 to the Mass Strategic Health Group. That brings us up to the amount we're supposed to be at our reserve for the health group. We are looking at a increase rate of 9.7 right now. If we were not at the reserve level, it would be 12.7.
Yeah, we want to get to that reserve level.
Okay.
And it's our reserve, it's not the
It's not the
groups.
plan, yeah, it's not the groups.
It's ours. And we've only been in the group a short period of time compared to some of the other members. And part of the rebates we get for the pharmaceuticals will go into our reserve in future years. So we might end up with one more year of having to do it, but then we'll be at our maximum. And looking at what we're getting versus what other folks are getting, for example, our retirees have eligibility to participate at group rates in dental and vision, where most the surrounding towns who use Maya or one of the other health groups don't have it. Our access to drugs and the services that we're getting, including the app and the counseling of how to access services that comes through the group, is more than any other entity around here, other than the people who are looking, are in the group. And we have 2 or 3 communities surrounding in the area that are probably going to petition to join the group in the next year.
So it was a good decision.
Oh, it's a lot better
Right.
than the other places.
So
So we
we're,
remember.
2 of
I
the,
think we can vote on this one, right? There's nothing to change here? Article
there's
11.
nothing to change.
Article 12,
I
okay.
just wasn't sure where he said he's not going to announce the numbers. I didn't know if,
No, the number's up top.
Yeah,
I did
the-
announce
Yep.
this one.
Okay. So do we have a motion, or
I'll
unless
make a
anyone has-
motion to accept Article 12 as
Sec-
written.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Article 13 is the transfer from free cash the sum of $74,178.77 for a settlement by the Acushnet School District to the Amaral Bus Company. This was a negotiated settlement, and this definitely, it's in full satisfaction of all claims. It makes the most sense rather than going forward. This was a settlement for the disagreement over what services they provided and what we owed them during COVID.
And this brings
This
us up,
pays us up.
wash our hands.
Yes.
Wash our hands.
I'll make a
Make-
motion to accept Article 13 as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I don't know if Article 14 will be needed, so I asked to pass over that. Article 15, I asked to pass over, but in discussion, you'll see that it's 2 items for the fire department. It's been discussed many times. One is the upgrade of the alarm receiver units, and the other is the repeater. The total is $145,000. I need a vote of the selectmen to approve it, so I'll bring it back. But I think everybody's heard this number of
Yeah.
times.
And we
I
know
mean,
it's
so this-
needed.
It's a necessity, right? There's an issue with,
Oh, very
Yeah.
much so.
yeah.
Article 16 is the Elder Community Services Program, the senior work-off.
Mhm.
Every year, we put 20,000 in free cash in. I'm asking that again. The only thing that's changing is we're upping the rate to
$15.
15, which is the
minimum wage.
state minimum wage, not the federal minimum wage, but the maximum that an individual can earn
It's 1,500, right?
is unchanged.
Have the residents fully utilized this program?
We're getting close
Okay.
now. And it's been a godsend for the services that they've provided and the YES program, which I'll talk about next, for saving the town money.
I'll make a motion to accept Article 16 as written.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Article 17 is for $30,000 for the Youth Employment Service Program. I think this is a fabulous program that the Board of Selectmen instituted, and it has not only saved us a bunch of money, it's also allowed us to do projects we wouldn't be able to do, and it has given a great many young folks an opportunity to work. And we've also used some of the money out of it to fund a co-op program with Old Colony. I just think it's a fabulous effort by the board.
I've heard a lot of good things about it. I make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Asked to pass over 18, that would be to deposit free cash in the stabilization fund. I'll have an exact figure once we're finished with the bottom line of the budget. I'm waiting on community preservation, but you can see the first part of Article 19 is the typical authorization to expend funds. And as you can see, the actual list of projects is substantially less than that. And that means that anything that's unexpended goes into the undesignated reserve. But I'll ask that you pass over that until we're final on that one.
Okay.
The board hasn't voted on Article 20, but it is, the board is proposing it as of, well, they're discussing it as of right now. It's the local option on the meals excise tax of 0.75%. Back of the envelope, it looks like it would raise revenue about $100,000.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but we're like the only community.
We're the
area not
outlier.
doing this. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we tried this, like,
few
4 or
years
5
ago.
years ago.
Yep,
Right?
Something like that.
About 5 years ago.
I guess 2018.
Sounds, could be right.
Yeah, it was voted down though.
Different time.
And the revenue would be, I thought back then, we were designating the revenue for OPEB. This would not be so designated. This is just,
This is just, so far, this is my drafting of an article for the board to further discuss.
okay.
The next articles are to fund, placeholders to fund collective bargaining agreements. Article 21, 22, 23, 24.
We're passing on all of those.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
The next articles, 25, 26, 27, are to access various stabilization funds or reserve funds if we need it for the Slocum Street project. We also have an article authorizing borrowing. It's similar to what we did with the fire ambulance, where we put all these authorizations there. Now, ARPA funds are expended by two entities. The federal government, which we've got that money, and then the county. We've got and are spending the county money. Now, if the communities in the county do not encumber their money by the end of June, then the county will give that money to folks who have shovel-ready projects. And we're looking at millions of dollars that other communities have not accessed.
And do we have those shovel-ready projects?
We've also applied to the county for,
Okay,
we are ready to go out to bid on Slocum Street.
so that's the main focus, that would be for that.
And it's about 6 million plus to 7 million.
Okay,
But we're one of the few that have got our second application actually in, with showing them the design, and they're ready to go to bid and everything else. So our opera consultant is very confident that we've done everything we can to be in the front of the line for that money.
and what happens if we don't secure all of the funds?
Then we'll have to see. But the county has to spend the money,
Yeah, so why not give it to us who are ready to spend it?
especially when other communities haven't even applied for it.
Right. And when is the application deadline?
The other communities in the month of June, the communities that haven't spent or designated or applied for their funds are disqualified, and then the county considers the next round.
Okay, so basically June, we'll know whether we'll be able to get the funds that we need for the Slocum Street project, okay? So
We also have money in our various stabilization funds that can cover a number of things, and we've applied for earmark from the state on all of the handicap accessibility features.
So right now, we're gonna pass on Articles 25 and 26 until.
Mhm.
And 27 and 28.
I haven't flipped the page yet, Bob. I haven't flipped the page.
29's the budget. Disregard all the numbers because they were just fillers. 30 and 31 are the typical golf enterprise, sewer enterprise. We'll take care of those numbers and submit it to you. And then the only bylaw, and it's being heard this week by the planning board, is the stormwater bylaw. And once it's heard by them, any amendments, then it comes to the selectmen, and I'll get a copy to the board. You've seen it primarily twice before.
Yeah.
It's very few amendments. It's we've had every chairman, from chairman of the Board of Health, chairman of the board of the planning board, chairman of the Conservation Commission. We've had the selectmen look at it 2 or 3 times. We've had consulting engineers look at it. It's buttoned up.
And
like
legal.
And legal, like it's never been before.
Like, how many times are we changing this thing?
Well, that's why we want to change it once.
Yeah.
Right now, everybody agrees to everything except for one sentence. And it's because we want it in common parlance, not legalese. So the lawyer and engineer, as I understand, sent something out about 5 o'clock tonight. So hopefully that'll take care of that. And it has belt and suspenders where it protects the town. So next time, I'm hoping to have a document in front of you that a couple hours before the selectmen will have approved all of it, and you folks are meeting after the selectmen, and we'll go through it, and then I'll be able to format it. And
Thank you.
make it pretty and get it off to the printer.
You mean the columns footing? Yes. So then the next meeting on April 30th is to cover all the other budgets that we didn't discuss today, fill in more of the numbers and hopefully vote on the remainder of the articles, which leaves Thursday to then just vote school, because school isn't meeting until Wednesday. So school obviously can't be voted on until they finish voting
Good.
or coming up with their budget. Okay. Any questions before we move on?
All right.
We're good? Okay. Any old business?
You will have the reserve transfers too.
Next week. Any new business?
Is there somebody in the audience? I don't know if they're here to
No.
talk.
Do you have any questions? Just decided to join us today. Fabulous.
Thank you for coming.
We don't have too many people in the audience, but we'll take it.
Wish I'd known you could have had a sandwich
Yeah.
earlier.
Fabulous.
I'm looking to see if I can get a table on that side.
I'm assuming it's because of the
No,
defib.
no, I moved that table over there, and I had that table going there, but it would only take care of one, and I don't know what Kathy would have done then. But, well, I was gonna offer this to you. But,
That means she's on camera, so.
Kathy's like, I want off
but
camera.
I'd like to put another table there because you do have a new member,
Yep.
Yeah.
and that'll give you
Too bad they
enough
couldn't have this
slots.
extended.
Huh?
Too bad they couldn't get like whole colony to
We get that
extend
in the
it.
budget?
Just, I don't know.
I'm just trying to find a table.
Kathy, as soon as those outstanding warrants are taken care of, we can get you on camera.
That's on camera now.
The only outstanding warrant is this one.
Yeah,
Next meeting will be on the 30th,
the 30th,
Yeah.
yes.
30th.
Tuesday.
Yep.
Tuesday and then Thursday, the 2nd.
Oh, on Thursday, I had the second, okay.
Okay, I gotta work some magic. All right, we have some minutes to approve from March 6, 2024. In attendance was Mike Boucher, myself, Pete Benoit, Eric Chu, Bob Ferrara, Kristen Flynn, and Eric McGlynn. Absent was Bob St. Jean.
I make a motion to accept.
A second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, minutes are approved.
Anything else, Mr. Kelly?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.